10 minutes past 3 on WFM 91.7, and it's time for Women of 1325. I am Bukola Balogun, and yes, we'll be talking about something interesting this afternoon, and it has to do with women and small arms. Yes, Women of 1325 is actually a program that talks about, women involvement in peace building and peace resolution. Now, talking about the Women 1325, I just want to give us a brief introduction on what, the program is really all about. This is actually in United Nations resolution program. It recognizes the disparate impact and violent conflict on women, and it highlights the fact that generally women have been left behind in peace processes, reconstruction, and the stabilization efforts. It also recognizes the imperative for the full and equal participation of women at all levels, ranging from conflict prevention to post-conflict restructure, peace and security. And this resolution amongst is a host of other theme of women, peace and security agenda. And therefore, Women of 1325, in summary, is actually a radio show that hopes to attain female gender inclusivity in protection and equality, and this has to do with protection rather and equality when it has to do with peace building. And today, this afternoon, I have over the phone with me this afternoon our guest. And before I bring up the guest, we are definitely talking today on, or discussing today, on Women of 1325, women and small arms. And doing justice to that with me today is Mimido Achakwa. I hope I didn't murder that name. Good afternoon and welcome to Women of 1325.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma. It's good to have you. And yes, did I get the pronunciation of the name correctly?
The line wasn't audible enough, but I can hear you clearly now.
Okay, so can you help with the pronunciation of the name?
Okay, my name is Mimido Achakwa.
Okay, Achakwa, then that means I got it correctly. Mimido Achakwa. It's good to have you this afternoon, ma. She is the network coordinator, International Action Network on Small Arms, IANSA Women Network Nigeria. It's a pleasure to have you this afternoon.
Thank you, and I'm happy to be part of this program.
All right. And last week on Women of 1325, we had an elaborate discussion on the Nigerian youth and the educational system will focus on the prospects and challenges. Now, coming into today's program, small arms is one of such area in which it is important for us to take gender perspective quite, important and serious, and in relation to which it is vital to take into account the interest, concerns, and perspectives of women. This is actually very important where it has to do with, inclusivity. It doesn't have to do with just the men being there. When it has to do with, men handling of arms, we discover that most of the time it's always the men who actually have access to some of these things. Now, while women continue to be misrepresented as the largest number of victims armed violence, their device, disarmament, violence reduction, and security-related activities are marginalized and receive little or no support. Women's Security Network is usually referred to in passing, and women's resistance to armed violence is lost because the language of vulnerability prevails. It remains possible to portray women as being exactly like children or the elderly or sometimes helpless victim or prolific weapons rather than a key resource in combating such violence. So now I'm actually coming to you now. Definitely the phone lines will be open shortly for you to make your contributions on what we will be talking about today. But I'm coming to you, Mimido. Now we understand the fact that when it has to do with ammunitions being handled by women and arms, we discover that instead of women probably holding it, we discover that it's being used against women most of the time. I just want to get your thoughts on, women and small arms. Now, starting from Nigeria before we even go to the world at large.
Well, women and small arms has been a burning issue even at the international forum. It's not just in Nigeria alone.
Okay.
Now, coming back to Nigeria, you will agree with me that because of the patriarchal nature of our society, when a woman is being when it is being mentioned, or when there is discussions around small arms issues, it is assumed that it is the male gender that have complete ownership or complete knowledge of small arms issues, whereas it is not the case. Some of us have been working on small arms issues since 2003, and apart from just working, we have developed ourselves in so many areas, as in training that we have had, ranging from DDR, which is disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration, and so also the women peace and security training. We have had several trainings, attended several forums, have made several contributions at several international forums, even in Nigeria. Here, as I speak now, we are a member of the Arms Trade Treaty Committee, domiciled in the Federal Ministry of Defense.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think the issue of arms is not just about men alone. It also has to do with women, because in times of conflict or whatever, women are mostly at the receiving end.
True. So you believe now that small arms actually propel. Okay, now before we even go deep into it, can you explain to us what exactly small arm is particularly?
Small arms are weapons that are used to perpetrate violence. There are different kinds of small arms. Okay. You have the AK-47. You have different machines. You have even cutlasses. Okay. You have knives. They are the light weapons. You have scissors. They are the light weapons. So different kinds of arms and weapons that are used to perpetrate violence against human beings generally.
All right. Thank you very much. So any form of weapon actually that is being used to perpetrate any form of harm on anyone is actually small arms. That's what you have to. Okay.
No. Not every form of arms. Okay. You have the conventional weapons.
Okay.
The machine guns, the big
weapons
that are used during war. I'm talking about the small arms are arms that can be easily carried
around and are easily accessible to anyone.
Yes, to anyone, yes.
All right. Thank you very much there. And we are still listening to WFM 91.7, and we are talking about, here the program is Women of 1325, and today we are talking about women and small arms. Now, we discover that women are usually victims of violence, and most of the time, this actually in turn turns around to be used against them. 19 minutes past 3, and we still have with us this afternoon. We have Mimi Do with us this afternoon, and she has been doing justice to the topic. But if you want to make your own contribution on the program today, call us 07000 917 917 090 256 25455. Do you agree with what has been said so far? Mimi Do Achapa, she is the Network Coordinator, International Action Network on Small Arms, Women Network Nigeria. And yes, make your own contributions. Now, still talking about small arms, should women also be allowed to, privatize small arms? Now, we have, some men who actually do this, and most of the time women are always seen as the second-class citizen, or the very feeble one, or the one that is not strong enough to be a part of some certain kind of jobs. Now, this is just a stereotype that has been created in the society. I just want to get your thought on this. Should women be also allowed to privatize small arms?
Are women not human beings? Women are human beings. I don't see anything wrong with that. So long as they own or privatize these arms legally.
Okay, that's very important.
Legally, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Okay.
For instance, let me share an experience with you. In 2007, I went to Sweden, Stockholm, at the National Defense College, and that was the first time in my life I handled a gun, AK-47. I went for the DDR training.
Okay.
And when the manner and way I handled the gun, and I pieces the gun, the instructor was kind of taken aback. He called me and said, "Mimido, have you had a gun before?" I said, "No. I've seen guns, but I've never handled a gun in my life." And in fact, that was the first time. He said, "You did it so well." And I laughed and I said, "That was because I have, it's just interest."
Okay.
So, in other words, there is nothing wrong with women.
Okay.
So, yes, this gun, so long as they do it legally.
Okay. So now this is you giving us a first-hand information of you handling this, guns. Now looking at, let's look at our security system in Nigeria. Do we really have women who actually participate in, any form of probably peacekeeping, or also women who participate in bringing an end to any form of unrest in places? Now we have the northern part of Nigeria, some parts of Nigeria, the northern part of the country, we still have the issue of unrest. We still have the issue of farmers' headers clash. We have the issue of the Boko Haram sect. Now, do we really have women being part of our force that participates in ensuring peacekeeping? Now, this is not just probably women just being there as figurehead, who also handle arms.
Well, I wouldn't know if we have women that handle such arms.
Okay.
But I know that women have been in the forefront of bringing about peace. For instance, the IANSA, which is International Action Network on Small Arms, implemented a project on women in peace building in Gombe State.
Okay.
And one of the key achievements, outcomes of the project we implemented. This project was supported by UN Women. One of the key achievements was the inclusion of women in traditional settings in the local governments that we worked. So for us, we think it was an achievement. My colleagues that implemented the same project in Plateau State, they also succeeded in advocating for the inclusion of women, and they have women in traditional settings in this state. Now, on the issue of the Borno or the Northeast insurgency, I know quite a lot of women that have played key roles. I don't know if they have handled guns.
Okay.
But yeah, they have played key roles. One of them is Hansaki.
Okay.
That have handled key roles in bringing about peace in the region. So, and then in the North Central too, we have women that have done quite a lot of that. During the unrest in the agitation for resource control in the Niger Delta, the same thing happened. I also worked in the Niger Delta to bring about peace.
Okay.
So we have quite a lot of women that are very knowledgeable, that are up and doing. But in terms of handling guns, I have not seen any one woman handle a gun, but I know that they are a strong force to reckon with.
Okay. So now
when it comes to peace security issues.
Okay, so what do you think would be deterring women from probably handling ammunitions? Now, looking at the issue of ammunitions. Now, let's go to the homes. most of the time it's actually said that the mere presence of guns in some homes increases the chance of, a woman being killed in a domestic violence incident 5 times to 12, 5 to 12 times. Now we just like you said, you don't really have an idea if women are, participating in handling of arms. Now, if I don't know, but I feel if women are really in the limelight who actually handle some of these weapons, then I'm sure a lot should have been said about it, or something should have been said about it. So in a situation where we don't really see such, and most of the time when it is even being handled in the homes, it is usually used against them, and will have higher rate of being used against women. What's your thought on this?
Well, when I said women, I have not seen women handle guns. When I made that statement, I meant the non-state actors.
Okay.
Coming back to the state actors, I know quite a lot of women that handle guns.
Okay.
So now back to your question. Please, can you rephrase the question again?
Okay, now in the home front, most of the time it's always said that up to 5 to 12 times, any home that has any weapon, most of the time is used against them, particularly guns. So how do we ensure that this is actually not done, and the women also have access to some of these ammunitions? And most of the time when there is any form of conflict, women are at the receiving end. They can't defend themselves, and this is because of the kind of stereotypical nature that we have in our own country. So how do we ensure that women are even able to defend their own selves, particularly when there is conflict?
Well, when you said in most homes these arms are kept and the rest of it, and they are used against them, I will agree and I will not agree with you.
Okay.
If you say that some of these women are the custodians of these arms in terms of shielding their wards, their sons or their husbands, by keeping these arms for them, I will agree.
Okay.
But oftentimes these arms are not used directly on these women because the intent is not. For instance, my son cannot carry an arm and use against me. The intent is to use against external.
It's for defense.
For defense, yeah.
Okay.
Now back to the gap which you raised. I think there will be need for the government to improve government understanding on the link between small arms control and issues of gender.
Okay.
Because those links need to be reflected in legislation and other governmental processes.
Okay.
Why do I say that? There is lack of recognition of the link between small arms and the Women's Peace and Security Resolution. Secondly, during the biennial meeting of state parties, the outcome, the outcomes did not reach state agencies with authority to increase women's participation.
Okay.
There is weak coordination among agencies, and the result is disconnected policies. This also affects the UN other themes of the program of action.
Okay.
I'm sure you know there is a UN program of action.
Yes.
And not just those that have to do with women. And then thirdly, there is a lack of political will to institutionalize and implement commitments on women's participation.
All right.
So now, coming to what the government can do, the government should recognize the link between small arms control and the UN Security Council Resolution 1325.
Okay.
And include small arms control indicators in National Action Plan on WPS. WPS is the Women's Peace and Security.
All right.
And then there should be a reporting template, particularly on women's representation and participation, and this should be communicated to ministries such as defense, women affairs, and some security sectors like the Nigerian police, the SSS, and you understand what I mean by the security sector. And then also ensure that parliamentarians are carried along.
Okay.
Because they are the ones that formulate policies for us.
Okay.
So these are just my few thoughts.
All right.
On this.
Thank you very much. 3:30 on WFM 91.7, and yes, we have been discussing about women and small arms, and the program is Women of 1325. To be a part of the program, call 07000 917 917 090 256 25455. Send a WhatsApp or a text message on 070 317-56537. And yes, we will definitely take your call and read your messages. And now, still talking about what conflict, small arms being handled by women. Now, when we talk about dangers of seeing women as the only gender, seeing women as the only gender being vulnerable, isn't this bringing, a serious problem to the fact that they don't have access to ammunition? Now, some persons might feel that women do not have the capacity or do not have the ability to, be able to acquire some ammunition. Now, you have given yourself as an example of one who has handled some, arms, and definitely you did well, just like you have told us. So right now, is there no danger in seeing gender as being the only thing about women, and this has to do with vulnerability?
I don't think there is any danger because women generally are underrepresented in small arms processes.
Okay.
And they need to be full participants in these processes.
Okay. All right. Let me hold your thought there. Let me take this call. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, good evening. Sisters from Charity Road, New Koba, Bulegba.
Yeah, Sisters, it's good to have you this afternoon.
So, did that caller contribution draw my attention? What is that? Let people not put the blame in the government, because most times I feel annoyed for people putting blame. We are the government. Let's play our role. Because that caller now, that man that called, we are saying that the government do this and this. You yourself that are complaining on the government, what role are you playing? What is your contribution, your idea? Because people contribute, putting blame the government. Sometimes I feel annoyed. I ask myself that what is their opinion and their idea? And some people that are even complaining that the government is doing this and this is not doing this. And some of them, when you look at their family, maybe the problem for their own family. You live your own family now. You are talking about the government. But the government do everything for you. So please, let people just try to recollect their mindset and put things positive in their thoughts, please.
All right. Thank you very much for contributing this afternoon. 07000 917 917 090 256 25455. The numbers to be a part of the program Women of 1325. Yes, Mimido, you're actually telling us something before we pick the call.
Yeah, I did say that, emphasize the fact that women are underrepresented in small arms processes.
Okay.
And that there is need for them to be full participants in these processes. And what do I mean by that? The last caller said there is so much emphasis on the government. Then who are the custodians of this? It is the government that regulates.
Okay.
So, yeah, and that is why we from the civil society thought that we would complement what the government is doing.
Okay.
How do I mean? We complement what the government is doing by getting involved, by sensitizing, creating advocacy. We cannot, as civil society, go and formulate policies for government. So the last resort is the government. It's not as if one is blaming the government completely. We have different groups that work to complement the work of the government.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much there. And 07000 917 Yes, Mimido has been able to tell us that there are different organizations that come together to complement the work of the government. And yes, Mimido Achakwa has been giving us, a better understanding on what the topic of the day is, which is women and small arms. She is the network coordinator, International Action Network on Small Arms Women in Network Nigeria. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, still talking about, the topic of the day. Now, talking about women participating and ensuring that women are also a part of this. Now, bringing this home to us in this part of the world, what are the impacts of small arms on women in Africa and also in Nigeria?
Well, the impact of small arms on women are enormous.
Okay.
And that is why there is this call, a wide call to curb gender-based actions on gender. When I mean gender, I'm talking about the two sexes, not just the female gender. But some of it is more. For instance, in Nigeria now, we have a high rate of rape and different kinds of things on women and even children and adults. So it would be important to include a long overdue focus on gender-based violence, which the international community is doing now. And then it will bring about progress on gender issues. It will also enable the non-state actors and the state actors to work together to increase the extent to which gender dimensions are in the mainstream of programs to combat this illicit small arms issue.
Okay. All right. So you believe this actually is going to help women, particularly with the impact of small arms in Africa.
Yeah.
Okay. So how effective would you say this impact? How effective? Okay. Now we have the world at large and even Africa, also Nigeria. How impactful has this been, or how impactful is this going to be?
If you include arising from what I had said earlier,
yes,
and there will be need to include women's indicators on women's leadership in small arms and light weapons.
Okay, all right.
And then looking beyond the security sector, women should be included. Women groups should be included in the national commission. Nigeria doesn't have a national commission for now, but it has a presidential committee on small arms and light weapons. How many women are included on the presidential committee? None that I know of.
Okay.
So it will be important to do that. And then donors should support community gun control initiatives, usually led by women.
Okay. But I was going to ask this: do we really have any regulatory body or policy employed to actually tackle small arm privatization in Nigeria?
Well, we have the ECOWAS Small Arms Commission, the ECOWAS Small Arms Treaty Convention, which Nigeria signed onto. And the convention is explicit on what states, that is the ECOWAS member states, need to do.
Okay.
One of such conditions is establishment of national commissions.
Okay.
In each member state country. The last I know is that there is a bill with as at the last 8th assembly, there was a bill that was sent to the 8th assembly to, see how the bill can be passed and an act be established to establish the National Commission.
Okay. All right.
But the other states like Ghana, Burkina, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, several other states in the West African sub-region have established their national commission.
All right. So now, there was a time there was, the clamor for withdrawing the license of people who have been able to acquire some form of ammunition privately, to ensure that, there was the clamor as at then that there should be a withdrawal of some people's license. Now, is this policy probably brought to reality? Is this policy actually enabled and implemented? How is this going to affect women?
Well, I think only a few people might have had those guns or those
ammunition.
I am not in the know if they actually returned this ammunition to the government as at when the announcement was made. So I did, to be honest, I did not follow up on that, so I cannot really say.
Okay. No, I'm just saying, if this actually is enacted, if this, now it was just a suggestion that was made, it has actually not been implemented yet. If this is implemented, how is the effect going to be on women?
Even if it is inside, what difference will it make? There are still cases of abuse, rape, and all whatnot going on. So I'm not sure that is going to make any difference.
Okay. All right. Thank you. But I just felt, okay, if this probably is implemented, now there are some women that might have the opportunity to be able to, access some of these weapons. And now if this is done, they might not have access to such weapons again, and considering the fact that they are always at the receiving end.
Well, I don't know if, I'm not in the know of any woman accessing the weapon in terms of a non-state actor. But I mean, the state actors, of course, it is their responsibility to access these weapons officially.
All right.
So I wouldn't know about that.
Okay. Yes, 18 minutes to 4 on WFM 91.7, and this is the Women of 1325. And today we have been discussing women and small arms. Now, what is the effect of small arms on women? How have women fared as regards having access to small arms? Have women been really been open to get these, even on a personal note? Have women been open to? Do you know of any woman who actually by chance who has this ammunition? Yes, we want you to make your contributions. Call us 07000 917 917 090 256 25455. Send a WhatsApp or a text message on 070 317 56537. And definitely we'll still have our guest in the studio. We have Mimido Achapa, who is the Network Coordinator, International Action Network on Small Arms, Women Network Nigeria, and she has been giving us better explanation on what particularly women handling small arms. Now, what are some of the dangers posed at women who carry small arms? Mimido.
Some of the dangers.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, if they carry this arm legally,
yes,
I think if they carry the arms legally, I think they do that to self-protect them, to protect themselves.
Okay.
So
let me hold your thoughts there. Let's take this call. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you're on WFM 91.7, 07000 917 917 090 25455. Send a WhatsApp or a text message on 070 317 56537. Yes, we're with you, Mimido.
Yeah. What I was trying to say is that the dangers are the same as if it is the men that carry this gun.
Okay.
Because you cannot divulge. Guns don't kill.
Until the trigger is pulled.
Yes, yes, until the trigger is pulled. And who pulls the trigger? Man or woman pulls the trigger. So for me, the dangers are the same for both men and women.
All right. So now, the impact of gender-based violence, including rape, violence in home, and sexual exploitation, is actually the most common with our women. Would you then suggest that women be given license to small ammunition? Now, you have talked about self-defense. So in a situation where we have some women who probably are to be abused or probably violated, now if they have their ammunition, can this be used as self-defense?
Well, if women can, if any woman is bold enough to acquire the ammunition or small arms legally, why not? They can be used for self-defense.
Okay, so this is something that you feel definitely will work for a self-defense for women.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, before we wrap up, before we actually call it a day on the program today, how can these narratives be improved upon, that we have women have access to more, to more ammunition, and also women participating in any form of, peace building? And you have said it before that women are actually part of this process. Now we want more women to be. Now most of the time, what we see women do most of the time is to go and help in some zones that have unrest, that don't have peace. But now we want women to be part of the process of peace building. We want women to be part of the process of ensuring that they also partake in this process that leads to formulations of laws, and also ideologies and ideas and regulations that will be put together to ensure that peace is brought to a particular nation or a continent. How do we ensure that we have more women on this table?
Yeah, we advocate for inclusion of women's rights groups and experts fully in all gun policy reform processes. And then also seek the views of women when legislation or reforms are being drafted. And include women in peace panels, peace processes, and DDR planning. DDR is disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration.
Okay.
So that the DDR provisions will be responsive to women's interests and needs.
All right.
And then secondly, or thirdly, women's technical capacities on small arms and small arms control should be built or enhanced. And the donors, government, private sector should invest in gender and peace training.
Okay, this is actually very important.
Yes, they should invest in gender and peace training. And then support capacity sharing. I won't call it capacity enhancement or capacity building. Now it is capacity sharing, including training on gender and women's peace and security.
Okay.
Conduct researches. Donors should commit resources and for researching on topics as small arms and light weapons, and then and share the results when such researches are concluded.
Okay.
And then lastly, efforts should be made to increase funds to address the gender dimensions of all of these issues.
All right.
Talked about, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for all of the, insight you have shared this afternoon on the issue of, women and small arms. But before you go, I want to get your final words as regards, all we have talked about today and, women involvement and possession of small arms.
Well, my final thought on this would be the donors especially should allocate enough funds.
Okay.
So that women's efforts on gender dimensions of war peace processes and DDR programs can be fully utilized, enhanced and utilized. Because there isn't enough funding, because when they hear small arms, they think that it's a no-go area. But I think for me, it's a go-go area.
Okay.
And that is why some of us have delved into the small arms issues. So there should be more commitment, both financially and otherwise, on this issue, so that women or the gender dimension will be brought to the fore.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mimido Achapa, for being part of the program this afternoon. And yes, Mimido is actually the Network Coordinator, International Action and Network on Small Arms, Women Network Nigeria. It's a pleasure to have you this afternoon, and thank you for giving us all of the insight into the topic today.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
All right.
For having me.
Yes, thank you very much. Every day, small arms kill and maim, wound, and threaten millions of other adults and children due to their widespread availability, mobility, and ease of use. Small arms have become central to maintaining social dislocation, destabilization, insecurity, and crime in the build-up to war, the wartime, and in the aftermath of violent conflicts. Small arms are misused within domestic settings as well as public spaces, and they affect everyone in the community without regard to sex or age. Although the impact of these weapons can be vastly different for women, men, girls, and boys, a careful consideration of gender and age is rare in the formulation of small arms policies, of planning small arms collection and control, or even in small arms research. To counter the effects of small arms, their role in reinforcing and maintaining gender and age-specific violence must be more deeply analyzed, and the results applied at the policy and operational level. And this has to be the women involvement should definitely be, deeply analyzed, so that all of these women will not continually just be victims, but also participate in all that has to do with possessions. And also it is against this backdrop that the women of 1325 have come to provide a framework for the protection of women and the inclusion of gender perspectives in peace-building activities. Women of 1325 is sponsored by WANEP, West African Network for Peace Building and Support, from the Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation, NORAD. Women in Peace Building Network. Women of 1325 holds every Tuesday on Women Radio WFM 91.7 by 3 p.m. And it is to this respect that I would like to say a big thank you to the producers of, to the production crew, Kels Okezie, Blessing Kale, and also to Anthony Damelda. I am Bukola Balogun, and I'm making a date with us next week as we still talk about the women of 1325. Definitely you want to get more about women participating in anything that has to do with peace building and ensuring that they are not left behind. I am Bukola Balogun. Good afternoon.
WFM 91.7.